at least between 30 and 40 mega dams, because irrigation is going to be the next frontier for us to be able to achieve enough food security for us not to import anything into the Republic of Kenya. I have also asked the ministry to begin to think about how we add value. I have said Kenya cannot continue to be an exporter of raw materials into other countries. I must thank other countries who are working with us. I was in China earlier this year, and the Chinese market is now available to Kenya. China has removed all the tariffs on our agricultural products, on tea, on coffee, on macadamia, on avocado, and all the other products. Just last week in the United States government has agreed to the extension of AGOA that equally gives us duty-free and quota-free access to the American market. You know very well that last year we negotiated and we became the only East African country that signed economic partnership agreement, our economic partnership agreement with the EU, 26 countries in Europe. Now we have the European market, we have the American market, we have the Chinese market. It is now up to us to produce the necessary products, to add value to the necessary products that we produce in Kenya so that we can access those markets. We can create value here at home, create jobs here at home, make our farmers earn more, and that is why we are investing in the county aggregation and industrial parks so that they become aggregation centers for agricultural produce across the country. It is the reason why I've just mentioned here, we are having another 6 special economic zones, from Pipingo to Dongokundu to Naivasha to Sagana to Thika to Busia to Eldoret, and another 3 that we are working on to make sure that we create the ecosystem that is going to support our value addition and agro-processing, all the products that we produce, so that we can not only create jobs, we can also create value, create wealth, and sell finished products to the markets we have negotiated globally, whether it is in China, or it is in the United States, or it is in Europe, and of course, in the African continent, using the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We have that opportunity available to us. What is remaining is us. And I want to ask leaders that the difference between the countries that have succeeded, the countries that were with Kenya a few years ago, and I remember saying yesterday, South Korea was exactly like Kenya in 1963. Their GDP per capita was 79. Kenya's was 80. Today, the per capita of South Korea is 20 times that of Kenya. Yet they were like us. They are an agricultural country like us. They do not have minerals like us. They had the same education with us. The difference, good people, is not that the South Koreans are different from Kenya. The difference is leadership. It is us, the leaders, who must take the decisions that will move Kenya to the next level. And I am persuaded beyond any reasonable doubt that we can change this country in our lifetime if we make the right decisions. And it is time, ladies and gentlemen, I must tell every leader in Kenya, from our MCAs to our members of parliament, to our governors, and everybody in between, our PSS and ministers, it is time for Kenya to move to the next level, and we must up our game. We must stop working with the ordinary. We must stop making peace with mediocrity. We must stop working with the simple, and we must stop working with the average. We must begin to think about transformation. We must work with the unusual. We must work with the bold and innovative and creative. That is how we are going to achieve the extraordinary and move our country to the next level. I must say this repeatedly because that is what our country deserves at this point in time. I must congratulate the leaders who are working together with us to make sure that we push the transformation of our country. There is now evidence everywhere that the decisions that we have made over the last 3 years are giving us results. Housing that has been burning for many years, today we are building 170,000 houses across Kenya. They are visible. Even the naysayers, they cannot say anything anymore because there is evidence that that is working. Our social health authority is working. That is why 26 million Kenyans are registered on that platform. Our agricultural transformation is working. It may have been difficult, it may have been complicated, but that is what it takes to transform a nation. And therefore, I must say, to us the leaders, the opportunity for Kenya to be in the first world is now. The opportunity is for us to take up our responsibility, fashion what will take Kenya to the next level, work on it as though our lives depend on it, and make sure we take Kenya to the next level. I am persuaded that that is how Kenya is going to move to the next level. And I am persuaded that Kenya has what it takes, the men and women, the resources, the ideas, the policies, the young people of our nation, the restlessness sometimes you see in our young people, the impatience that you see in our young people is because they are impatient with the ordinary. They are tired of the usual, of the average. They want us to up our game because there is great potential in our nation. And none other than our young people know that. And that is why we must up our game as leaders and as Kenyans. And with those remarks, it's now my distinct honor